Thank you. Senator Markey?
Thank you, Madam Chair, very much. Now, I'm aware of the many beneficial uses of drones, including spotting wildfires, examining crops, monitoring traffic. But while there are benefits to drone use, there are also risks of misuse. These 21st century eyes in the skies should not become spies in the skies. And today, just as we have rules of the road, we're going to need rules for the sky as well. And I believe we can achieve both protect privacy and give flight to this new technology that will bring jobs and economic growth to our country. Unfortunately, today, when it comes to privacy protections for the American people, we are flying blind. Flying and potentially spying robots sounds like science fiction, but they are a reality right now, and their technology is getting cheaper and more accessible. This drone here has 2 cameras on it that can be easily purchased and online for only $100. 2 cameras flying over everybody's house in the United States. The FAA already has given exemptions to nearly 50 commercial operators and announced today that it is planning to expedite the process so that drones can fly in the national airspace with no clear privacy rules. Today, operators are allowed to collect whatever information they want about you and me, and they can then use or sell that information however they choose. This is why earlier this month I introduced the Drone Aircraft Privacy and Transparency Act. The bill requires 1, commercial drone operators to disclose what data they have collected, how that data is used, and whether the data will be sold and when the data will be deleted, if at all. Number 2, that law enforcement obtain a warrant before using drones except in emergency circumstances. And 3, the FAA must create a publicly available website that lists where and when drones fly. As the committee continues to process the FAA reauthorization, I look forward to working with my colleagues on these issues. So, Ms. Gilligan, if the FAA does not incorporate any federal privacy protections into the final drone licensing process, and I saw a commercial drone flying over my house, would I be able to find out how the company uses the data they collect, or if they sell my private information?
Senator, we do make available the information about which operators we have authorized, and we do make available information about the airspace in which they are operating.
But would I be able to find out the data which they've collected? Would I be able to do that? If I see it flying over my house, can I call the FAA, and can you then say, provide the data over what you filmed in the backyard of that American? Can you do that?
The FAA does not currently collect that information.
Would I be able at least to find out who owns or operates the drone that was flying over my house?
As I said, we do keep records about what airspace operators are authorized to operate in, and that is publicly available today.
So it's on a public website right now?
Yes.
I could find out who just flew a drone over my backyard?
I believe that's the case, sir. I know it is publicly available. We also release it in response to FOIA requests, so it is available. I apologize offhand. I don't know if it is one that you can access from your iPad here today.
So you're saying that if somebody sees this outside of their window and they're filming their family members in the backyard, that right now an individual in America could call the FAA and or go to a website and find out who owned that drone? Is that what you're saying?
We have the information about who has been authorized to operate in what airspace. Whether or not that was an authorized operation, I can't tell you right now. If it was authorized, the records on who is authorized to use that airspace are available.
Are people authorized to just film families in the backyard of their homes?
The purpose for which they're filming is not something I think we keep track of. We have authorized.
Well, that again, that goes to the privacy issue. If families have their children in the backyard and those children are now being filmed by a drone, what can we do to protect that family if all these, nefarious individuals, maybe
sir.
now trying to take advantage of the absence of real privacy rules.
I think that's why the administration has begun the initiative that was announced and that NTIA is taking the lead on, that Mr. Morris described earlier.
Well, again, what I'm saying is that in the absence of federal laws that we put on the books, these drones with cameras, $100, are just flying over backyards of people, parks of people all over the country. And we have to put strong, enforceable laws on the books that ensure that ordinary Americans know that information is being gathered about their children, that it is being collected, and that it potentially is being sold, and that there are no rules against any of that. And in the absence of us putting those protections on the books in this committee, that we're allowing all of these technologies to take off without the values that Americans would want to have being built into this new technology. That's our job on this committee. This is an inanimate object. It has no values, good or bad. We're the ones that are going to have to animate it with the values that we believe it should have as it potentially engages in predatory activity against the families of our country. I thank you, Madam Chair.